Everybody, you Raven fans, you Oriole fans, thank you very much for joining us this week. It's Wednesday, so it's time for the Ravery Sports Podcast. Like and subscribe to all of our social media platforms. See you coming in right now. Thank you very much for all you Twitter people that are watching, or X. Look, guys, if you're on the Twitter, appreciate you, love you. Go to the YouTube and subscribe. Go ahead and Twitch and subscribe. Go to the other channels and subscribe as well. So thank you for all of you for watching on the Twitter, but definitely subscribe to our YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, a lot of channels that we have. So we could go ahead and check out every time we have Ravery Sports Podcast, our interviews, instant reactions, got baseball, lots of good stuff coming for you. So definitely check that out. MLB draft coverage and instant reaction. So a couple weeks here, July 13th, we're going to have instant reaction from the Marlins and the Orioles that day. It's also the same day of the MLB draft. We'll be going on about 8 o'clock or so, right a little bit before the Orioles pick as well. We're going to be talking about some of the draft picks in the draft. We're going to also be talking about the Marlins and Orioles game that day. So it's going to be one of our baseball. We don't do a lot of baseball-only streams, but that's a day where we have the MLB draft right before the All-Star break. We're going to celebrate baseball. We're going to go ahead and do that on that day as well. Next week, we're going to go ahead. Speaking of baseball, next week, we're going to talk about who's going to be in the All-Star game. We're going to do our Ravery Sports predictions of that, who is going to be in the All-Star game that's coming up. Genesis Notary Services in Winchester, Virginia. If you know, you know. For all of you, Clark County, Frederick County, Rappahannock, Shenandoah Valley, Martinsburg, West Virginia, all of you guys, if you do need notary services, definitely Notary Services /Facebook. Definitely Genesis Notary Services. If you're looking up on Google, Genesis Notary Services, go ahead, Winchester, Virginia. Make sure you put that. You might get a Genesis Notary Services in a different part of the country. It's not a totally unique name, but you might get that. So if you're looking for that, definitely in the Winchester, VA area. Harris Legal Shield, definitely check that out. Also to, as well as Charles Harris, We Are Legal Shield. You can definitely go on our Facebook page, charlesharris.legalshield, Charles Harris Legal Shield. So definitely put that in Facebook, and it'll definitely be there on LinkedIn as well. Harris Legal Shield, it'll pop up. You can go and reach out to us, get help with your business. We'll be happy to square that away for you as well. Also, RaverySports.company.site. Definitely, if you still want Ravens and Orioles merchandise as well. Also, too, I've been posting links to Fanatics as well. So definitely you're going to have links. NFL Shop, sportsmemorabilia.com as well. We're going to be go ahead linking stuff. So we got the links, a lot of those places, Twitter, Facebook, etc. Thank you. All right. Wow. Big news today. So we got our stream and we're going to do that, but I got to talk about Jair Alexander, right? So when I saw it, I was at work today. I was just going to lunch. It was around 2 o'clock. And I go to my phone and I see people start TTB Ravens Media, shout out to him, doing a instant reaction to Jair Alexander. It's like, oh, this is for real. And so Jair Alexander, who's made the Pro Bowl 2 different times, is now going to be on the opposite side of Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins, and he is going to be the corner for the Baltimore Ravens. So this is a guy, some injury issues, some baggage. Some made himself a captain in a game, but make no mistake, this is an elite corner, 1 year, $6 million. This is also a former teammate of Lamar Jackson, as well at Louisville. So I think Lamar, I was going to come on here tonight and say, Lamar didn't say this for no reason. Something must be brewing, and it most certainly was. So it was about done, too. Like, when I saw it, he had already signed. He's already – sometimes, like, a guy will sign and it'll be announced, and, they'll bring him in a couple days later, do the press conference. He was in the room with the cameras already signing the deal. So shout out for a good shop for getting Jair Alexander 1 year, $6 million. We are going to go ahead all in. That's what it looks like. That's exactly what I said. All in, that's what it looks like. There's not a lot of weaknesses on this Raven team. So we're going to go over the training camp battles, but this is outstanding stuff to go ahead and get Jair Alexander 1 year, $6 million. It did change the video a little bit because now we know who the other receiver is going to be, but that's okay because that's great news. That's great news. 1 year deal, not a lot of risk. He's here to win a Super Bowl. He believes that the Ravens can actually go ahead and win the whole thing. Outstanding. We are thrilled, obviously, Bravery Sports, to have Jair Alexander at the corner. Street Fighter. You see the Street Fighter, and we talked about battle. Some of these things, this is our guys in training camp. These are going to be these guys' livelihoods, everything here, fighting for these roster spots, fighting for these training camp spots as well. Now, we just talked about Jair. The Ravens are a pretty solid team. They don't have many guys just fighting for position, not having position, etc. Pretty solid team. However, that being said, you do have guys fighting for spots. Let me fix that light there. You do have guys fighting for positions on the team, fighting for playing time. Some of these this year, I do think, because the roster is so strong, you're going to be fighting for trades, okay? Some of these guys may not be around. So some of these battles, that way it shake out, they may have to wind up in different places to go ahead and play and go forward. Interesting to see that, how that goes. So let's go ahead. Street Fighter, that's the battle, fighting for your life. My brother and I used to play Street Fighter. You can Ryu, etc. Uppercut. Street Fighter. So guys battling for training camp spots. I put this on Twitter this week. Who's going to be the number 2 back? Is it going to be Justice Hill or is it going to be Keaton Mitchell? Justice Hill, I thought last year was terrific. I thought he was exactly what the doctor ordered. He was whatever they needed him to be. Backup for Derrick Henry, great attitude, excellent blocker out of the backfield. Excellent catcher of the ball out of the backfield. Definitely ran the ball, changed the pace. Fantastic. He was a guy who's a couple times, frankly, we thought he was going to get eased out. Justice Hill got an extension, deserves it. Is he going to get more time than Keaton Mitchell? Mitchell was kind of eased his way back in after an injury, kind of came in mid-season. The year before, he was really good. He started to look like the Keaton Mitchell. So who gets a bigger piece of the cake this year? I think Keaton Mitchell is going to be the number 2 back, I think, in all intents and purposes. I think simply because I think you want to go ahead and have that difference with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, don't get me wrong, faster than he looks, big, strong guy, no question about it, one of the top running backs in the NFL. We're going to talk about that tonight, the top running backs in the league too. But when you have that, I think he's going to get more carries. Justice Hill's a Swiss Army knife, okay? So I think he's a bigger role for him wherever you put him. That's why I think Mitchell may be a little more specialized. But Hill is going to be fine. I think both of these guys are going to be on the roster. But I do think it's a good chance that Keaton Mitchell gets more carries and becomes the second back, whereas Justice Hill becomes maybe the third running back as well. But they'll definitely fight for it in camp. Be interesting to see that. 4th receiver, okay? So you have DeAndre Hopkins. You have Justin Bateman. No, Justin Bateman. Keep saying Justin Bateman. Rashad Bateman is the number 2 receiver, and you have your number 1 receiver, I think, Zay Flowers. So who is the number 4 guy? Will it be Tylan Wallace, who was re-signed in the offseason? In his 5th year, is it going to be Devontae Walker? Walker, they drafted him, I think, with high hopes. Really didn't play really at all last year. Tylan Wallace didn't do a lot as far as that goes as well. Maybe in fighting for a total roster spot as well. So I think maybe the guy that loses this isn't on the team. I think it's going to be Tylan Wallace. I do think John Harbaugh has an affinity for Tylan Wallace. I think Wallace can do a lot of things, plays well on special team. I do think it's going to be Wallace. I think he likes Tylan Wallace as a wide receiver. Devontae Walker, I think, is maybe be a 5th receiver, maybe be inactive some days. But I do think Tylan Wallace is going to be the guy, 4th receiver. Interesting to see that as well. So I just put this up. That's why you see Tylan Wallace and Isaiah Likely. But I did want to put this because this is This is important. So, Mark Andrews, I did have the stats right. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. Who's going to be the number one tight end? Now, I could almost guarantee what John Harbaugh and the offensive staff is going to say, Greg, and not Greg Roman, Todd Monken, they're going to say, well, this is no big deal. These two guys are really fighting for a lot of money. Isaiah Likely is going to be fighting for a huge contract in the offseason. So is Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews maybe wants to stay here, and I think it could be decided earlier than what we think. They're going to say it's going to play out, but I want to see who gets more care. Their relationship, I can almost promise you this year, is going to be way more contentious fighting for real estate. So didn't get the picture right. But I think Mark Andrews, could stay in the number one role. He should. But it'd be interesting to see if Isaiah Likely can overtake him and really become the guy as well. I think what could happen is Isaiah Likely gets most of the reps in the main part of the game, and then you see Mark Andrews in the red zone. So interesting to see that. Just added that. Sorry about that picture as well. Number one left guard, Andrew Voorhees at left guard. Nate Joseph Noteboom, free agent addition from the Rams. Andrew Voorhees, I think, is a fascinating player. Voorhees, by all intents and purposes, won the starting job left guard last year as well. Then he kind of moved him out as well. They moved McCary in. They gave Rosengard more time. McCary was actually playing right tackle. Then he moved him over to guard. And Voorhees kind of got moved to the bench. Noteboom was a guy kind of similar to McCary. I think the role they maybe envisioned him in. I think McCary is going to be a guy. Noteboom is going to be a guy that is going to be the sixth offensive lineman. I think that's kind of the role. He is going to be given, I think, every opportunity to win that left guard spot. It's not sold up. I think this is as much up in the air as anything here. Lamar prefers Mark. I would tend to agree. I think because he knows Mark Andrews well. I think he understands Mark Andrews. They came in the league together. They know each other very well. Again, left guard position. Here's Kenny again. Going to be a problem all season long. Kenny is absolutely right in the fact this is the offensive line. This is a very deep Ravens team. I think this is the weakness of the team, the guard spot, the two guards, left guard, right guard. What about Ben Cleveland? I don't think he makes the team. I don't think he makes the team at all. I think Ben Cleveland, I think they re-signed him. I think if he does make it, he's a reserve. Let's go to right guard. Emory Jones is he? I don't even have Ben there, Kenny. Emory Jones is going to be competing, I think, with Daniel Falele. Falele, I thought, was the worst offensive lineman that the Ravens had all season long last year. I thought he was just I know he doesn't watch this podcast because I certainly would be blocked by Daniel Falele. I've been killing Falele, but I don't know what to say. He wasn't any good at guard. I don't think he's a guard. I think you might serve him better putting him at tackle as well. Emory Jones, I think, is going to get an opportunity. He was a tackle, and you saw a lot of these guys in the draft. A lot of these guys were right tackles, but you could put them at guard in the NFL. So I think it is interesting to see how this plays out. I don't think this is an open job per se. I think they are more looking for Daniel Falele to start right away. I do think it is tenuous. I do think a guy with Emory Jones' ability can take it. I do think some of these other guys will as well. I don't think Ben Cleveland is going to be there. And I'm so glad because Ben Cleveland, I think it's just in Harbaugh's doghouse. I think he had another offer for a different team. He wouldn't even be a Raven. He may not be one anyway. So I don't even have him on the list. I'm not falling for that again. I'm not putting Ben Cleveland in there as well. Will Zay Flowers remain the number one wide receiver, or Bateman will actually make a push or D-Hop. Zay Flowers is your number one receiver. Bateman, I think they were going to trade. He's going to get a lot of reps. He's going to get a lot of carries. D-Hop is going to be the third receiver, barring any injuries as well. I think D-Hop is there for insurance. Teddy Buchanan and Trent Simpson. Teddy Buchanan and Trent Simpson here as well. This is going to be very interesting because I don't think this is truly a competition at the inside linebacker. Trent Simpson, similar to Voorhees, right? Started last year, really came up. Good. He's going to go ahead and take over. Started at the beginning of the year, and then he kind of got eased out. End of the year, really didn't play at all. So Teddy Buchanan, 4th round pick. I didn't love the linebackers in this draft. So it'll be interesting to see how Buchanan does. I think they feel he fits the system. He feel that he goes ahead and gets away as well. Buchanan was a 4th round pick. He wasn't a UDA. So I do feel that this is totally up for grabs. I would lean Trent Simpson simply because he's not a rookie and he had experience, but I don't think he's going to go ahead. He has much of a margin here. I do think there's every opportunity Teddy Buchanan can go ahead and take it from him. Jake Hamill, I didn't list him there. It is possible if neither guy as well, they're going to go with the safe bet, Jake Hamill, I think, but they kind of would like for him to be a special teams guy. 4th cornerback. Now, I had 3rd cornerback here, but with the signing of Jair Alexander, Teddy looks the part. Great name, too. I agree with that. Jair Alexander, today signing. So, Chidwell Wazi is still from Tennessee last year. TJ Tampa. Tampa is the great unknown. We don't really know. Good college career. I thought he was very underdrafted. He was picked in the 4th round of the 2024 draft. But I think we really don't know for sure as well, except he was a good draft pick. Owuze, I think, has been up and down as well. I think they do like TJ Tampa. I think, honestly, with the Zaire pick, that tells me what they think of Owuzie as far as a long term. I do think they don't mind TJ Tampa in that 4th role. I do think that. I do think that TJ Tampa is going to be good in the 4th role as well. So I do think that tells me something. Both of them could be on the team. I think where it doesn't bode well is for the 2 6th round guys that drafted. I think they had an uphill battle to make the team. I don't think either one of them gets past practice squad. 4th outside linebacker, edge rush. So we already know about rookie Mike Green. We already know about Daffy Owe, and we already know about Kyle Van Noy. So this is going to be not all these guys are going to be Ravens when the season starts. And I think the only one that's really shown anything is Tavius Robinson. I think on the field, he actually played more inside, I think some, if I'm not mistaken, last year because they did sit Trent Simpson like we talked about. David Ajabo hasn't really shown anything. I haven't really seen it. Even when they were saying it in camp, well, he's looking good in camp, I didn't see it. Look, I thought he was great in Michigan. Certain guys after injury just aren't the same. I don't know if he makes the team. Isaac, I think, could make the team probably, but I would say, again, we don't really know. I mean, he didn't play really at all last year. Fighting injuries all year long. So I don't really know what to think about that. I think Tavius Robinson has the inside track. I do think, though, it's not tenuous. I do think it's a bit tenuous. I do think it is still a legitimate chance for David Ajabo and Adisa Isaac to actually show them something. I think Isaac probably makes the team, but I'm not sure. Ajabo's time might be up. I don't think if he's not really, really good here pretty soon, I think they're about out of patience with him as well. Number 1 punt returner, LaJohntay Wester and Tylan Wallace last year. Wallace, we know what that exciting game-winning punt return against the Rams a few years ago. Definitely last year. They brought in Javonte for a reason. So the question is, can a rookie actually do this? The special teams of the Ravens last year was subpar for their standards. I've said that a couple times, where they didn't do as well as they had been doing. So that's definitely true, where they didn't have the same level of production that we had been seeing from them. So that's interesting. That's the thing. But Tylan Wallace, I think, may start the season there. It really depends on how fast he's developing. So it'll be interesting to see how fast Tylan Wallace develops. But interesting to see. I think the long-term answer is going to be Wester, even though he might lose the battle. I think week 4, this is one of these situations, week 4, week 5, I think you'll see LeJohntay Wester. And let it begin. This is a real kicking competition. Tyler Luke was drafted in the 6th round, 83% field goal percentage at the University of Arizona. John Hoyland, 79% field goal percentage at the University of Wyoming. So far, John Hoyland has outplayed Tyler Luke. Everybody's saying this is Tyler Luke's job to lose. I would agree with that, but I do think this is a real kicking competition. I don't think they're just gonna take Tyler Luke or because it's right. This comment is right on point. Rookie kickers scare me. You're daggone right. Because so many, and I've even had to do this in comment section. Not go on the Kenny's comment section, but on Twitter, like, look, you've had Justin Tucker for so many years. So many years. I'm going to say it one more time. So many years you've had the great Justin Tucker. He's Hall of Famer, possibly one of the greatest kickers of all time. You haven't had to worry about this in a very long time. Very long time. Ravens really throughout their history haven't had kicker issues for very long. Billy Cundiff towards the end. Steve Hauska, they had to cut. They've had to worry about this. So, and I'm telling fans, you're just going to have to right now take the best guy you can. Whoever has the good camp, we'll see it during the year, see if they have to bring in a vet. That's the best you hope for as well. But one of these two rookies is going to be the guy coming out of camp. Tyler Luke, John Hoyland. I don't think they're going to bring in a veteran in camp. I think it's going to be Tyler Luke because they drafted him. I don't think you generally draft a kicker if you don't have a plan on keeping him. But I do think it's Tyler Luke out of the beginning of the year. There you go. All right. Get some light on me there. So there you go. I think so. Definitely training camp battles. These guys are fighting for their lives. You're going to see these guys come and become NFL players right before you. Interesting to see. The tight end thing, I think the more I'm thinking about it, is going to be a thing, the tight end. Because Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely are both going to be free agents. They're both due for big contracts. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. All right. So we talked about Jair Alexander. We're going to stay with football here. Top 10 series all the way until the season starts. The top 10 running backs in the National Football League. I hope you're right. Will the Ravens get a Super Bowl this season? We're going to talk running backs here. So let's go over it here. Who are the running backs here who are the best in the NFL? So I believe, too, we're right now in the middle of our running back resurgence, right? So for years, running backs, we don't need to pay them. We don't need to do this. We don't have to worry about that, et cetera, and running backs, Now we're in a thing where running backs are a bit coming back here. You saw the Eagles, what they did last year. You see the Ravens last year with the running back, spending some money on running back. You see teams now, a lot of the teams on the list, a lot of good offenses are running offenses, et cetera. Niners. So the need for the running back, we're seeing it now. So let's see what's going on here. Who I feel, and all my lists they're not anywhere else, okay? So these are Raven Sports. This is what I think about who are the top 10 running backs in the NFL. Number 10. You know what? This guy is not thought of around the league as much as I think he should be as well. All the comp I have for him, kind of as far as the way his career has been, as Jets Curtis Martin. He just keeps cranking out 1,000-yard seasons every year. Every year he keeps cranking out 1,000-yard receivers. So he's at 10. Did it for the Raiders. Again, Packers, run the football. Veteran present, helping out the court. See that as well. Not a great pass block, not great in other areas, decent in other areas, but definitely he's going to get – you could get 1,000, you're going to get 1,000 yards. With Josh Jacobs, last year he had like 1,300 yards. He's had 1,600 yards. Josh Jacobs, plug him in. Number 10, I have Josh Jacobs. Number 9, you know what? I got to confess, I almost kind of forget about him, as good as he's been. Jonathan Taylor. Taylor, I think, has been a solid running back for the Colts all these years. He's definitely the best player. Had some injuries. I think that's kind of why I'm a little shy with him. Had some injuries. He was terrific last year. He had 1,400 yards rushing, running the football. So I thought he was really good. Also, I don't think he's a great in other areas. I think if you just said running the ball, he might be probably top 5, but he doesn't really pass block that well and other things that well. So I think that's why he's a little bit lower. But make no mistake, Jonathan Taylor's the real deal. I mean, this guy can get you 16, 17, 1,800 yards. This is ability. His breakaway speed is incredible. Certain guys accelerate after the line of scrimmage. That's what I see a lot with Jonathan Taylor. Certain guys accelerate before they get to the line. Certain guys accelerate after the line. So he gets to the line and then he's gone. If he gets there, he goes. So Jonathan Taylor, I have him at number 9. Number 8, James Cook. I don't know exactly what's going on with the contract as well. I think this pick obviously is assuming that they're going to get him in and they're going to get this worked out as far as that goes. But I think he's right there. I dare say he's regressed a bit almost though, but this is a big, strong, physical back. There aren't a ton of those as much as we think it is in the league, but this guy's going to run somebody over. Certainly with him and Josh Allen, good luck trying to tackle these two guys out of the backfield. So you have maybe one of the better running quarterbacks in the league in Josh Allen, and you have James Cook. Again, we talk about running back resurgence. These guys are wanting money now, though. So it'll be interesting to see how the Bills handle this because he is very integral to their success. So, but I think he's the top shelf guy, one of the best in the league. I like Cook a lot. That is number 8. Number 7, this guy is enormously underrated. Kyron Williams of the Rams. All I hear is complaints about how he's one-dimensional. He reminds me of a lot of these. One of the teams I really watched a lot as far as on offense was the Mike Shanahan Denver Broncos and all that, etc. He must say those two. Kyron is the only guy who gets carries. Kyron is, and I'm glad he mentioned Kyron because Kyron is one of the better running backs in the league. Straight line. Reminds me a lot of that the Mike Shanahan Denver Broncos as well. One cut, he goes. Some people make running back in football simpler than it needs to be. Some people are going to be a Le'Veon Bell or Marcus Allen and these stuff. This guy, one cut, and he goes. I think he's a little better in the rest of his game than he gets credit for. He's a decent enough pass catcher, and he's a decent enough blocker. I don't think he gets credit for that, but I think he's good. Definitely, last season, he had almost 1,300 yards, like 1,299. Definitely pencil him in for, I think, 1,200 yards. Again, certainly in the Rams offense where he's going to get a lot of carries. I have him at number 7. Number 6, Chuba Hubbard of the Panthers. His only problem to me is I don't know how good of a team he's on as well, but I certainly can say he's made the team better. they definitely were pretty quick to extend him, right? So last 2 years, 900 yards, and he's progressing. He's very young. I think he's progressing. I think he can have a game that was, Denver running back, 2 TD. Definitely, you're talking about a guy, Hubbard, who is progressing. I think he can even be higher on this list. But I think because he's in Carolina, I certainly like, first, I think if he was in Philly or team or something like that, definitely be higher. But I think working with Bryce Young, he's going to get keyed up on a lot. But his speed kind of reminds me of Ray Rice when Ray Rice was really good. Lots of different things he can do. So, number one, I think I think Brooks, they got him in the draft. Absolutely. Yeah, he's hurt. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think as well. Even with the 2 running back system that they had, I got no problem putting Gibbs 5. Gibbs is the guy now. I think that's what we're going to see this year. Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be the number 1 back for them as well going forward. I think he had 1,400 yards. I think the ceiling is only going to get better. He's going to get the bigger slice of the cake, and he's going to make the most of it. The way they run, the only thing that kind of concerns me in Detroit is Ben Johnson is gone. So how much is that going to change the offense? How much are they going to change the offense? But Gibbs, I think, is the real deal. No question about it as well. Christian McCaffrey, I'll have him at number 4. So there you go, Kenny. There's your Niners. Number 4, Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey could be one on this list, but we know what's wrong. The injuries, banged up a lot, misses games, misses time as well. Detroit's line could be worse as well. That's correct. But I think McCaffrey, a healthy Christian McCaffrey is fantastic. Does everything on the field. Catches the ball in the backfield, stronger than you realize, runs over people, great pass blocker, great everything. Everything is solid. Christian McCaffrey, I think, fantastic there as well. Number 3, Bijan Robinson. Bit of a projection because we're kind of waiting for him to become the best running back in the NFL. Tricked very high as well. But I think Bijan Robinson, I think his time is really coming. He's definitely going to get opportunities. 1,500 yards last year, so we know how good he is as far as that goes. But I knew he'd say it. CMC Comeback Player of the Year. We'll see. But Robinson, I think, is really ascending. I think there's no reason Cheetah Hubbard and Bijan Robinson could be the future of the running back position in the league. So I think they are going to be guys that are really going to develop. I think the question is, how good is the Atlanta offense? You can look at that 2 ways. Okay, they're going to lose more or they're going to win. We're going to see about that. But number 2, Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry almost had 2,000 yards last year. Derrick Henry had an MVP season. Not even close to done. Extended by the Ravens for good reason. Derrick Henry, his workout videos are insane. Derrick Henry, I think, there's nothing not to like about Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, I think, might be the best running back in the entire league. Certainly might be the best running back. Certainly is the best running back. I have him number 1 on the list in the AFC. Certainly with Lamar Jackson, even more dangerous because you can't defend him. Nobody's going to say he's washed up. Not a chance. Derrick Henry is fantastic. Almost as fantastic as the number 1 guy, Saquon Barkley. All you needed to see is him getting out of New York and seeing what getting to a real offense in the Eagles and what it looked like. He looked totally, not only has he always been talented, but the enthusiasm looked like a 10 compared to last year. But Saquon, game-breaking speed, every play, he's the guy now, the Barry Sanders, I think, in the league. Every time he touches it, he can go take it to the house call, and get it done. So Barry Sanders, not Barry Sanders, Saquon Barkley, number 1 for the Philadelphia Eagles. There you go. And they did not ban the tush push. So it's even more. I was thinking about him if they had banned the tush push. So that would have been interesting there as well. So there you go. top 10 running backs in the league. Every week we're going to be doing this. Next week we're going to do wide receivers as well. A little bit of a change in the guard there, so I have some different names that I have there as next week. But next week, every week until the season actually starts. NBA Finals. So we're talking about the NBA Finals here. Finals games, these games have been physical. Guys are really beat up in this. These guys are wanting it, playing hard on both sides. I shout out to both teams. I don't have any particular rooting interest in this, but the physicality has been fantastic in this one. I really like how hard the Pacers are playing, especially. They're doing everything you're supposed to do, and I think it's almost sad that I don't think it's going to be enough to beat the Thunder. I think the Thunder do win the NBA title. The Game 6 is tomorrow. If they actually were able to win Game 6, it's going to be a Game 7. They're playing defense 94 feet. So if you talk about back in the day, the Detroit Pistons and their basketball and their run, they play defense 94 feet. The Pacers are playing SGA 94 feet. They're picking them up, not at the middle, not at the crack line, the whole game. They were picking up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I saw, like, at the end line. Like, they are making him work for everything on the front. I'm sure he's talking football. Fantasy websites have Saquon, Bijan, Gibbs top 3. I've been seeing Derek 11th. Take Derek higher than 11th. I can almost guarantee that. But 94 feet, that's what they've been doing. They've been really, really, you got to do that. But even that is not enough. But these games are uber physical, man. Guys getting smacked in the mouth. We don't know if we're going to have Tyrese Halliburton for Game 6. He's going to play for sure. I can promise that. I don't know how much he's going to play, but at this point in the series, there's no reason not to try and go as well. Halliburton was not good in Game 5, and I think that's why they've lost the series. They kind of go as he goes. He has these really good nights. He's really productive, etc. They do well. There's nights he doesn't do well. Yeah, it kind of is what it is. But I think that's probably the difference in this series, where SGA, despite of all their efforts, is still putting in high-quality games, while Halliburton kind of scuffling. Maybe he's injured, etc. So we'll see. Game 6 next week. We're going to talk about it. Who won the NBA title? So definitely, we're absolutely going to talk about that as well. Great series. I don't know, like, the ratings and all that other stuff, but as a basketball fan, this is real. This is what a championship series should look like. On the court, this is exactly what it should look like. So outstanding stuff there as well. All right. One other thing, and this was news today. I never thought I would see this, over reporting on this, but the Lakers have been sold, my Los Angeles Lakers. So the whole time I've been alive, I'm going to be 40 plus. I'm 40 plus, and when I was a little kid, my favorite team was the Showtime Lakers. Magic Johnson, Kareem was my favorite player, and it's been the whole time, the whole 40-something years I've been alive, owned by the Buss family. Dr. Jerry Buss was the owner, passed on to the daughter Jeannie. Jeannie has now sold the majority interest in the Lakers today. I think it's Mark Walter, I think. I know there was I'm thinking he had, for a while, I'm not sure, the right of first refusal for a while, if she ever wanted to sell. So this is a $10 billion sale of the franchise. This is the largest sale of a MLB, NBA, professional sports team, and anywhere, Premier League, anywhere in the world that's happened. So the Lakers brand, I think, is going to continue on. I think they sold it because it's a lot of money. It's $10 billion. I mean, you can't turn it down. I also don't think Jeannie Buss has any children to pass it on to. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think she does. I don't think she's been married. I think she's married now, but I don't think she has young children to pass it on to as well. So she might be at the age, you know, she still looks pretty good for her age or whatever, but like she's like 63 years old, I think, or something like that. So I don't think I don't think she has children or anything. So I think she's at the age where she's going to timeline, maybe work a few more years and then go off into retirement, leave some money to her family or philanthropically, whatever she plans on doing. So end of an era. No longer the Bus family in charge of my Los Angeles Lakers. So there you go. So let's shift to baseball here. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So we're going to talk about the Delmarva Shorebirds as part of our baseball summer here. So we're definitely going to do that. Hey. So that is the music. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today. You put you in, coach. I used to listen to that every time I used to run out on the Little League field because you got a lot of these, especially guys in the minor leagues and college baseball, have those dreams of playing in the majors, just like I did every time I ran out of Little Big field. Obviously, I didn't get there, and most of us don't. But that's why that song is there to go ahead and describe, hey, man, these guys are out here wanting to play in the majors as well. So put me in, coach. Let's talk about the Delmarva Shorebirds out of Salisbury, Maryland. This record is actually did a little better with the records. Now, because this is actually, I think, today's record. 26-39. Seeing that consistently, unfortunately, with the teams in the minor leagues for the Orioles, not very good. Losing record for the Tides, losing record for the Bay Sox, losing record for the Shorebirds, losing record for the Ironbirds. Not as well this year. Prospect group not as strong, not playing as well at the bottom of. So we're seeing that a lot. Colin Woody as the manager, second year for the Shorebirds as well. Chris Bitters, the 19th season as the GM. You do see managers move on a lot in the minor leagues, obviously, because they're like players in the sense. They're not trying to just manage in a minor league team. They're trying to manage in the majors. GMs stay in the minors. They're the ones that are actually running these teams. They're the ones that are actually there year over year over year. You see that a lot. So see that a lot. What we're seeing now in Delmarva is a lot of these Michael Elias prospects. You're seeing it at other levels, but you're definitely now seeing more and more of these players, the international system. Now they're in Delmarva. Now they're in the minor leagues. Now they're in. Soon you're going to see a lot of these guys. So now you're seeing a lot of that now. You look at this Delmarva, and it looks a lot like DSL Orioles and all that other stuff from years past. So Luis Almeida, big contract that he signed a few years ago, minor league prospect, 19 years old, and he is going to be one of their prospects, 19 years old, just arrived there as well. What was his contract? I'm going to look that up real quick. I think his contract was, $2 million when he signed as a 17-year-old, almost $3 million, $2.5 million. So he had one of the largest minor league contracts. So that tells you what they think of him. Also, Brian Batista almost made a notable name. I think it's worth looking at. Yalba Gatier, another international free agent. So a couple guys from the Dominican Republic, also a guy from Venezuela. So what's going on with the Shorebirds? So again, a lot of this now is the flavor from the international roster. Edmund Arberia, I think he's injured right now, but he's got 2 home runs, 11 RBIs, 16 stolen bases, doing very well in the minors, hitting 211. Chamasil Buse, I think I'm saying that right, I'm sorry. 6 home runs, 35 RBIs, hitting 286. He had the best average that I saw there as well. Alfredo Vasquez, 1 home run, 15 steals, 9 RBIs, 245 average. Raylan Ramos. I really like him. I think him and 4 and 5, Raylan Ramos and Braylon Tavra are the guys that I really like, I think, as far as they have a major league future as well. Both of them really hit with a thud. So they have some speed as well. They definitely guys are very good defensively. So I really like both of these guys. I think they'll definitely keep moving up in level. I think you're going to see that. Pitching not as strong at the lower levels, and this is kind of what you're seeing. Michael Calderon, decent season here, one in ERA, 2.97, 29 strikeouts. Vespi, you know the last name, Nick Vespi, I think they're related. Ben Vespi, 24 home runs. So again, 24 in low A. Again, moving a little slow, but moving along, having a good season as well. Evan Yates, 22 home runs. 22 years old, 3-1, 6.3 56, leading the team. I think a strikeout 56. Evan Yates as well. So, seeing a lot of the minor league flavor from the international prospects at Delmarva now. So a lot of these guys are not just in the international; they're moving up through the ranks, moving up through the system. Really young group. I think Vespi here was the oldest guy, 24 years old. So we will see how this goes. No real prime prospects. Again, top 30 prospects, I think you have some potential there. When you talk about Tavra, you talk about Ramos, you talk about Amidia, you talk about guys like that. But as of now, still very developmental. There you go. All right. So let's go ahead and get that squared away. Let's not play. Well, we'll do center field.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready.
All right, put me in, coach. Play center field as well. Let's get the Kevin Nash stroll out for the Orioles report. Kevin Nash got all in the Wolf Pack in the Orioles because the Orioles, I think, are turning a corner here. They look a little better here lately as well. So record is good. Good tonight. Checking on the score. The game is they were 8-0 earlier. Oh my God, it's 8-8. They scored 8 runs. Oh my gosh. Pretty confident. Rogers didn't look good all of a sudden. He looked good for the first 2 innings as well. Cano got lit up here as well. So spoke too fast. That's what happens when you go live. So, but despite of that, they have looked better lately. Pitching, I think, kind of blew up, but they did score 8 runs. The offense, I think, looks better. The cavalry seems to be coming back. Getting the guys back is helpful, I think, from what I have seen. So, definitely going to spend a few seconds on this. Gary Sanchez the other day was reinstated from the 10-day DL, and Maverick Hanley was optioned to Norfolk. Absolutely activated Aaron Cavill as well. I think he's in Norfolk as well. Look, Maverick Henry seemed to be popular, seemed to be a likable guy. But, guys, he was hitting 48. That's not working. That's not a major league hitter. That's not close. You want a backup catcher. You could kind of almost move with a backup catcher at Mendoza if he's hitting, 190 or 180 or 220 or whatever. But you can't have a major league hitter hit that low. I don't care how good he is behind the plate. I just don't do it. Gary Sanchez is not going to do that. Gary Sanchez immediately hits 2 home runs as well. And I know, we all make jokes about Gary Sanchez and his defense and all that other stuff. That's fine. But you can't have a major league catcher, even a backup, hitting below 100. He wasn't hitting. So, I know it's funny. Mayo, Jorge Mateo, rather, who's injured now, hits better than this consistently, and he can't hit. But Maverick Hanley had so much love. Interesting. I don't want to be too hard on the brother, but I just thought that was fascinating. Not so much even him, but the reaction to him when a guy was so clearly struggling at the plate. We all thought we got Kyle Tucker, right? Kyle Tyler off waivers, option Norfolk. Got to take a look at all pitching options at this point for sure as well. Colin Shelby this week was recalled from Norfolk. Kate Povich put on the 15-day DL. So they seem to be playing a bit of a shell game. They brought up Colin Shelby. The next day, I think they went down, recalled Grant Wolfram as well, and put Colin Shelby back in Norfolk as well. So I guess they figured he had options. Wolfram the next day goes from Norfolk to goes from the roster back to Norfolk. So obviously what they were doing, and I looked at it after the fact, I kind of commented at the fact. Well, where was Trevor Rogers? Because he was so good in his last start. What they were doing was they were going ahead putting Rogers in his start day was today and Wednesday. So there was no reason to bring him up. So let's keep an extra bullpen arm to bring guys up and back down, keep some fresh arms out there until we get Rogers. I think Rogers is going to stay, despite the shaky performance tonight, in place at least until Kate Povich comes back. But I think he's going to get every opportunity. Povich just really hasn't been great, but interesting to see that. Couple of interesting notes about the outfield. Tyler O'Neill was returned from his minor league rehab assignment per June 14th. Per club announcement, he was placed on the shelf due to shoulder infringement due to rehab. I think I should put that word there, rehab. So rehab for that. O'Neill's been a mess. I'm hearing different things. First he's injured, then he's here. Tyler O'Neill's had a history of injuries throughout his career. So I don't know what happens. So basically he was sent on a rehab assignment, pulled out of that rehab assignment because he wasn't ready for the rehab assignment. So now after he took some time off, he should be ready to go back to rehab assignment to start to come back. So it'll be a while, I think, before we see Tyler O'Neill. I would assume not before the break or right around the break would be the earliest now if he hasn't even started rehab yet. So we will see about that. Interesting, I thought this was. They brought Cedric Mullins back from IL, and Cowser has still been in center. I think Mullins started today in center, and I think Cowser wasn't left. Why does that matter? Because this is your best defensive player, and he's out in the outfield. Interesting. Could it be? It's one of two things. Either A, he's injured still, and is slow walking an injury. Because one of the reasons you want Mullins is you want the defense, you want the center field, you want the outfield production defensively. The other reason is, has he been relegated to the fourth outfielder? I think that's fascinating as well. So you got Cowser in center, you got Dylan Carlson playing, and you have Roman Renato, who's been hitting cleanup, hit another home run tonight, and has been productive. So it's possible maybe a bit of a demotion for Cedric. But for the longest time, they just automatically plug him in center. And I think it's fascinating that, okay, you're bringing back to DH him, and he kind of sits, and he kind of interesting to see. Let's see how this plays out with Cedric as well. Getting near the deadline, they're winning more games. So they're about 10 games on that 530 and 40. Can they get to enough to where maybe they're not selling, and it'll be fascinating to see what happens. Gary Sanchez is back. He hit 2 home runs. I put him on the hot list as well. Dean Kramer. Yes, Dean Kramer. Solid in both outings. I thought Kramer was fantastic yesterday. I thought he was fantastic in both outings. He pitched 3 different times. I thought he was good. Felix Bautista has looked like Felix Bautista lately. He's been really outstanding. I think he's really rounding into form. Had 2 different saves during the week. Not good. Zach Eflin, he's just not an ace, and they need him to be. He's not an ace. That's not a knock on him. But he's a really good starter, but he's not at that next spot yet as well. Sagano, I think, has been struggling in starts early. I've seen this a couple of times now. Now, he usually winds himself out as well, but this is a trend where he's kind of scuffling in starts early. Jackson Holiday, not worried about it a lot, but not really good lately as well. This last week, he was like under 200. Put him in there. At the New York Yankees this week, Yankees suck. I definitely believe big series as well. Let's see how you do against some good teams. Rangers are struggling as well. Rangers have some talent, but they've had a lot of injuries. So that is a thing. And Westberg, before he came back last week, hit 2 home runs, but Westy has been really good. This is why I think the offense is coming around. I think you're getting some of these guys back. Kowser, Westberg, Gary Sanchez, et cetera, et cetera. A lot of these guys on offense getting back into form as well. Adley was good. That's with Gunnar, et cetera. So starting to move on offense a bit, and it's showing on the field. All right. Thank you very much for watching the Ravery Sports Podcast. Fans like me, like and subscribe to all of our social media content. Enjoy all the games. You have a great day.